So for this one, what we're doing is finding the differences of the y's first. From here to here, we had to subtract 2. So then from here to here, to get the next value, we have to subtract 2. That would give you -6. To subtract 2 again for the next value, that would give you -8. Remember, what we're looking for is this right here. To find the y-intercept, and this is with the one you have to look at. If it's not 0, then it's non-proportional. If it's not 0, then this is non-proportional. I'm going to write it up here this time because there's very little space down here. This is non-proportional. This number right here also tells us our y-intercept. We were writing the equations in the form of y is equal to mx plus b, where b is the beginning, and how we identify it is when x is 0. So that is our b. You don't have to write plus minus because minus are interchangeable with negative signs, but you do have to write the x. And now what we're doing is the slope. We had the changes of y, and that's your numerator, -2. Now I got to look for my denominator. How I find the denominator are the changes of x. So from here to here, I have to add 2. From here to here, I'm adding 2. From here to here, I'm adding 2. So that means you have a 2 in the denominator. That's still y equals. You always want to simplify your final answer, and it asks you for function notation, which means the fancy x, f of x, is equal to, that simplifies to a -1, but I can write it as -x. And I want you to know that this is the same thing as writing -1x. They're equivalent, and you just need to make sure that you know this, because I might give you the equation written this way. All right, the next one. What we have is these last two numbers, so that means that I can go in reverse. 15 minus 5 is going to give me 10. 10 minus 5 is going to give me 5. And 5 minus 5 gives me 0. Since I went in reverse for my y values, I need to go in reverse for my x values. That means from here to here, I subtracted 3. From here to here, I had to subtract 3. And from here to here, I had to subtract 3. Once again, I'm doing the formula as y is equal to mx plus b. And this one, where the x is 0, tells me my y-intercept of a +5. So this one's the one you're looking for. And I made my person cross-eyed. There we go. So we have a +5 this time. You still have to write the x. The changes in y is the numerator, so that's -5. The changes of x are the denominator, which is -3. And this is y equals. We have to simplify this one and put it in function notation, which means it's the fancy f of x equals, this only simplifies to 5/3 x plus 5. The other thing that it asks for is whether it's proportional or non-proportional. Because of this right here, it doesn't go through the 0, 0, then this also is non-proportional. All right, this one, it says write the equation in function notation for each relation. When we go through the 0, 0, that is also your b. So don't forget, we're doing y is equal to mx plus b. This b is 0, so plus 0. Rewrite the x. Now we need to find the numerator and the denominator. So I'm going to zoom in just to help you out. What I need to go to is an intersection of the graph. So points on the actual grid. So this one would not be correct because the line is not on the grid. So if I go here, that would not be correct. It's not on the grid. Neither is this one, so we have to go all the way up here. So you're going to have to go up to 1, 2. And that's your numerator. And since it's up, it's positive. And to the right, 1, 2, 3. To the right, 3 is still a positive denominator of 3. Y equals 2/3 x plus 0 is a correct answer, but since they wanted in function notation, we're going to write that fancy x. This fraction doesn't simplify, so we have 2/3 x still, and we don't have to write the plus 0. So the other question that I could ask you whether this is proportional or non-proportional, and the answer to this one would be proportional. How do we know? Because it goes through the 0, 0 or the origin. Right, next one. This does go through the 0, 0, making this a plus 0. Go ahead and write your x. I need a numerator and a denominator. And I'm going to zoom in just to make sure you know that we're looking for the intersection of a graph. So there's one right here. That means I have to go down to making the numerator negative 2. And to the right one, making the denominator a positive 1. And it's still y equals. Function notation means that you have to make a fancy f of x. This simplifies to a negative 2x. And we don't need to write the plus 0, making this function proportional. The last couple of equations, we have this one that intersects at a negative 2. Let's zoom in just to make sure you can find another point. So what you're looking for is that it actually intercepts the grid. So right here. We started at a negative 2. That means minus 2 as our b. Place the x. Now I'm looking for the numerator first. That's up 1, 2, 3. And then to the right, 1, 2, 3, 4. Since it was positive, because we went to the right. And that equals y. Function notation means that you write the fancy f of x is equal to 3/4 x minus 2, since nothing else can simplify. Because of the minus 2, because it doesn't go through 0, 0, this is non-proportional. I think I just misgraphed this. This is supposed to intersect right here, making my intercept a positive 1. Go ahead and write your x. I'm looking for a numerator and a denominator. And just to make sure, it looks like it intersects right there. So we have to go down 2, making it negative. To the right 1, y is equal to negative 2/1 x plus 1. Function notation means that fancy f of x is equal to, that simplifies to a negative 2x plus 1. Because of the plus 1, or that it doesn't go through the 0, 0, makes this function non-proportional.